I always believed my wife, Melissa, was a good mother. No matter what struggles we went through, I thought she would always put our daughter first. That belief shattered one night when I discovered she had been using my absence, while I worked, late shifts to meet her lover. And the worst part? She kicked our little girl out of the house just to make room for him. That was the moment my love for her died, and my plan for revenge began. I worked nights at a warehouse, pulling long shifts so I could provide for our family. Melissa stayed home, and I thought she managed things well. Our daughter, Emily, was only 8, and she adored her mom. But I started to notice changes. Emily became quiet, withdrawn, and avoided talking about what she did while I was gone. Melissa, on the other hand, grew distant, always glued to her phone, always laughing, at messages she refused to show me. My gut told me something was wrong, but I never imagined how deep the betrayal went. One night, I came home earlier than expected. The house was dark, and Melissa wasn't in bed. As I walked through the rooms, I noticed Emily's bedroom was empty too. Panic hit me, until I heard faint giggles coming from the living room. I stepped closer and froze at what I saw. Melissa was curled up on the couch with another man, kissing him like a teenager. And then I heard it, my daughter's voice outside, whispering to herself as she sat on the cold front steps. My heart broke. Melissa had literally pushed Emily out of the house so she could play mistress while I worked to keep food on the table. Rage doesn't even begin to describe what I felt. I didn't barge in or scream. Instead, I quietly stepped back, made a note of the time, and left. I couldn't let emotions ruin what I knew had to be done. The next day, I pulled Emily aside and asked her gently if this had happened before. With tears in her eyes, she nodded. "Mom says I should just go play outside sometimes," she whispered. That was all I needed to hear. My daughter had been neglected, abandoned for some cheap affair. I wasn't going to just divorce Melissa. I was going to make sure she lost everything. Over the next few weeks, I gathered proof. I set up cameras in the living room and around the front porch. Every time Melissa's lover came over, I had it, all recorded. But what mattered most to me was documenting Emily being left outside. That was the weapon I needed. No court, no judge would side with a mother who kicked her child out at night for her own pleasure. Melissa thought she was being clever. She had no idea she was digging her own grave. When I had enough evidence, I contacted a lawyer. I showed him the footage, the times, the dates, and Emily's statements. His eyes widened. "She won't just lose custody," he said. "She'll be lucky if she ever gets visitation rights without supervision." That was exactly what I wanted. Melissa had crossed the one line that no parent should ever cross. She had chosen lust over her own child. Now she was going to pay for it. I kept acting normal at home, letting her think she was safe. She would kiss me half-heartedly when I left for work, and I would smile back, knowing her world was about to collapse. Finally, when the court date came, I dropped the bomb. Melissa sat there smugly, probably thinking she could twist things in her favor. But when my lawyer presented the recordings, her confidence shattered. The courtroom watched as she laughed with her lover while Emily sat outside on the porch in her pajamas. There was no excuse, no explanation that could save her. The judge's ruling was swift and merciless. I was granted full custody of Emily, along with the house. Melissa was ordered to leave immediately and was only given limited supervised visitation rights. The look on her face as she realized she had lost her daughter was a mixture of shock and devastation. But I felt no pity. She had made her choice. Emily was mine to protect now, and I wasn't about to let Melissa hurt her again. When we got home, Emily hugged me tighter than she ever had before. "Are we safe now, Dad?" she asked. I nodded and told her the truth, that she never had to worry again, that she would always have a home with me. As for Melissa, I didn't care what became of her. Her lover disappeared the moment her life crumbled, leaving her alone and broken. Revenge doesn't always come with shouting or violence. Sometimes it comes in the form of justice, served cold and undeniable. Melissa thought she could humiliate me, betray me, and neglect our daughter without consequences. Instead, she lost everything she cared about. My only regret was that Emily had to suffer before the truth came out. But in the end, I made sure my daughter knew one thing. Her father would always choose her first. And as for Melissa, she'll spend the rest of her life remembering the night her betrayal wasn't just exposed, but used to take away the one thing she thought she'd never lose. Her child. That was my revenge, and it was one she'll never forget.